Hi, Kasey. Welcome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Would you like to start with where you're from, how old you are, and what you do for a living?
Yeah. So I am 26 years old. I live in Oceanside, California, born and raised around here. I work primarily as a property manager,
Mhm.
commercial, residential, and I do some short-term rentals. So
Awesome.
staying big. Yep.
Do you feel like the way you were raised influenced your decision to not have kids?
It I didn't influence it. Like it didn't cause me to be child free, but it did reinforce it, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Are you comfortable sharing in what way?
Growing up was let's say the first half of my childhood felt stable at the time. Looking back, I recognize it was not a normal childhood. Um, my mother had some hoarding tendencies and it was kind of unstable looking back. And
Mm-hmm.
then later into childhood, experienced some unstable housing and homelessness. So seeing, I guess, kind of the highs and the lows just kind of
Mm-hmm.
reinforced the fact that I'd rather experience them by myself with my partner and without tiny little people depending on me to keep them alive and fed and clothed and healthy and
Mm-hmm.
happy.
Makes sense. You mentioned that this reinforced the decision, but was there a different moment that you were kind of like, I know I don't want to have kids?
The earliest memory I have, and a lot of people often comment how they're usually like, "Oh, that sounds so weird," or "Oh, that's so early." I think I was around 6.
Mm.
I was playing with my Barbie dolls. And I don't remember if it's my mom, my dad, some authority figure in my household was like, "Oh, you're going to be such a great mom when you grow up." And I remember just looking up from my dolls and being like, "I don't want kids," and going right back to
Mhm.
my Barbies. And that's like the earliest memory I have of being like, children aren't for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So very early. I probably already know the answer to this question, but have you ever felt the motherly instinct?
I would say no to that. I have worked with kids. I used to be a horseback riding instructor, and some of
Hmm.
we call them our kids. Uh, as young as like 5. Um, and I enjoyed teaching them. But if they fell off a horse, my first like instinct was the exact same instinct as if an adult fell off a horse.
Mhm.
There's like nothing extra. No, oh, I need to care and nurture for this being. It's, oh no, somebody fell. Are they okay?
Right.
Exact same, regardless of the age. So
Mhm.
that's how I would describe it.
Got it. How has dating been for you?
I'm pretty lucky, actually. So I didn't do a lot of dating growing up just because of my household situation. Um, I have one ex that it wasn't super serious and we were long distance. So I don't really count that.
Mhm.
And then my current boyfriend is also child free and we just met on Tinder. First date, I was like, "Hey, just so you know, I don't want kids." And he's like, "Oh, thank God."
Wow.
So yeah, no, so I lucked out really hard. I do know a lot of people have, difficulty dating being child free with a lot of people just saying it,
Yeah.
lying about it. And so I know it's a struggle. I just happened to luck out.
Speaking of which, would you have any advice for people who are breaking up over this topic?
That's I've never experienced it, but my inclination is it's gonna hurt because it's a breakup and it's somebody you likely cared about, possibly even loved, and now your life is separating. Let yourself feel it, let yourself go through it, give yourself some grace, and just work through it. You'll find somebody. There are child free men, women, non
Mhm.
binary. There are people out there. Somebody is there for you. You'll find them, they'll find you. It'll happen at some point. But you shouldn't stick yourself in a relationship that basically will end. If they want kids and you don't want kids, you can't compromise on that. If they want to live in the UK and you want to live in the US, that's pretty hard to
Yeah.
compromise. Stuff like that. If there's no compromise, somebody has to give and that could lead to resentment. So you're better off
Mhm.
just going through it, feeling the pain and finding
Move on.
something that suits you better.
What are your thoughts about marriage, and would you still want to get married?
I do want to get married. I've been annoying my boyfriend by sending him rings basically almost every day. Um, I do. A lot of people think there isn't really a point if you're not having kids. I view marriage less of a declaration of love. You can absolutely love somebody without getting married, and it doesn't define if you love somebody or not. But there are legal protections that come with being married. Like, let's say one partner dies, you know what's going to happen. You're the next named heir, you're getting their benefits. Um, and like in my case, I don't speak to my mother's side of the family anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm in a hospital and I'm unresponsive and somebody needs to decide it for me, I have a power of attorney for him. But if the hospital doesn't know that, they'll probably call my mother, which I don't
Don't
want.
want. Yeah.
Whereas if he's my husband, they're calling him immediately. So it's just a little bit of
Mhm.
extra security to me. Not everyone needs that. Not everyone wants that, which is totally fine. But I do think, depending on your relationship, it's still a legal contract. And that's kind of where the benefits come in.
Mhm. Have you or your partner considered sterilization, and is that an option in your area?
Yes. So I'm lucky enough. I live in California where it's more, I would say, more accessible than other states. Don't get me wrong. I still spent, like, I was 16 when I started asking about it, 18 when I was like, hey, I'm an adult. Can I get this? And it wasn't until
Mm,
23 where I actually got my bilateral pelvectomy. And I'm supposed to be getting a hysterectomy later this year just to kind of completely seal the deal.
mhm,
Um, my boyfriend, he considered a vasectomy, but at the end of the day, we decided that I should get it done
mm.
because, like, I'm the one that would have to carry a kid, and him being sterilized doesn't help me if I'm a victim of sexual assault. So we
Right.
ultimately
That's a
decided for
very good
it.
point. Have you felt any regrets or doubts about your decision?
Not really. The only, every now and again, because my boyfriend has fantastic hair and I grow hair really fast. So I'm like, if we ever had kids, they would have the best hair in the world. But
Mhm.
otherwise, no, not really. I mean, he has a bunch of nieces and nephews. We watch them for an hour and we are done and good for another month. I love them.
Makes sense.
If they're watching this, I love you. You're adorable. I just
Mm,
don't want to bring you home.
for sure. Do you have any frustrations with regards living this lifestyle? And are there any stereotypes that you hate about child-free people?
Oh my God, so many. I could write a book on it. The biggest one is most certainly regarding medical care. Like I said, I started asking when I was 16, seriously asking when I was an illegal adult, didn't get it until 23 when I finally found a surgeon who was like, yes, I will respect your bodily choices. You are an
Hmm.
adult. You can do this. And
Yeah.
even now, I am sterilized. And, they still make me do pregnancy tests. And even when I get my hysterectomy, I'm sure they'll still make me do pregnancy tests.
Hmm.
And oh, you're feeling bad. Oh, it's probably just because, are you pregnant?
You're
Is that the
pregnant.
issue? Yeah,
Yeah.
that all of that. And also, I find when I say I'm child free, people immediately make a lot of assumptions about me. And it's very much, and I'm like, you do whatever you want. I don't care. I live my life. You live your life. And I hope you live your life to the fullest. But when I say I'm child free, they're immediately like, oh, you're probably super blue and you have like 7 cats and you
Mm,
don't really love your boyfriend because you don't want to have kids with him and you probably drive an EV. I'm like, that's a lot of takes to make for somebody you just met.
yeah.
Um, like they have in their head that anyone who is child free fits into this very neat stereotype, I guess. And they get really shocked when I don't fit into the stereotype.
Hmm.
And then they question, are you sure? I was like, I like to go off-roading. Oh, do you actually like to go off-roading? Or are you just saying that? And it's kind of
Hmm.
like, well, I'm me. Someone else might like to not go off-roading. That's them. And I hope they don't go off-roading if they don't like it. That's their choice. My
Yeah.
choice is to go off-roading, and I need you to respect that I want to do that. And same thing with other hobbies, but Yeah, just assuming that I fit into a stereotype just because I don't want kids is one of the bigger frustrations I have.
Hmm. Have you felt a judgment from friends, coworkers, family?
More so acquaintance. It's worst with people I don't know. People I know,
Mm,
unless there's like an initial shock of, oh my gosh, you don't want children, which sometimes there is. It's
yeah.
more, oh, that's cool. And we go on to the next topic. If they're more acquaintances or I don't know them super well, it's, oh, you'll change your mind and da 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 da. Like I had one person, I have, I guess, a mental response where if I see severe injury or blood, I faint. And I was talking to this person, and he's like, oh, once you have kids, you'll get right over that. I'm like, that doesn't help me. And it's a
Yeah,
condition I have and was born with. So thanks. Um,
right.
yeah, so it's more so people I don't really know super well that are really
Hmm.
talkative about it, I guess, is the nice way to
Right.
say
And
it.
there is still the assumption that everybody is gonna have this.
Exactly. It's just an assumption. I'm like, I can't have children. They're like, oh, have you tried IVF? I'm like, that's
Hmm.
assuming I even wanted to try IVF.
Yeah, yeah. What brings you most joy in this lifestyle?
It's really cliche, but I would say just a lack, I don't like a responsibility. I'm still an adult. I still have responsibilities just like everyone else. But there's more like freedom when I'm done with work. I mean, and
Hmm.
I'm my professional life is very busy, but I come home, it's just me and my boyfriend. I want to go out for a weekend, just me and my boyfriend. I don't have to consider people, like no one's actually relying on me to live or to stay fed or to stay clothed, to stay clean. And I experienced that a little bit. I for a time I was the primary income for my family. So
Mm,
I understand the pressure that, or not to the full extent, but I understand to some extent the pressure parents go through. And it brings me so much relief that I don't have to go through that. Like, and again, I love the nieces and nephews. They're adorable, but they're still very young in that kind of screechy phase. And
mhm.
when we get back home, we just lay in bed and go, oh, and just
Yeah,
like relax.
relax.
And it's so nice.
Yeah. Anything else I didn't ask that you would like to add?
As far as sterilization goes, I know a lot of people think it's impossible or has all these negative health side effects. I manage Childfree and seeking sterilization on Facebook. So I've seen a lot of people pop in going, I can't get this. How do I get this? What are the side effects?
Hmm.
And I always like to reiterate, at least for the United States, I don't live in other countries. I can't comment on the other countries. In the United States, there are doctors out there. We have a whole list on them. Reddit has a whole list. You can find somebody. Um, and the worst complications you can get for as far as a bicep or the tubal goes is just general surgery complications. Like my nose surgery to fix a deviated septum, that felt worse
Mm.
than my sterilization. So don't be afraid of it. It's super chill, and there are people out there who will, help you figure it out. And
Yeah,
it
I
is.
feel like you just need to find the right people. Like I've
Mhm.
seen a nurse practitioner and she told me that tube removal will cause like early menopause. And I'm like, you're so uneducated and
Yeah, you
telling
don't
me
know that.
something that's, yeah,
Hmm.
not true at all.
Yeah.
So,
No, I love it when I go in and doctors are like, "Oh, you got your tubes clipped." No, I got them removed. Oh, so you got the little bungee cords? I'm like, oh my god. There's a difference between total removal and
yes, yes.
so. Anyways,
It is what it
there are people
is.
out there who will help.
For
So.
sure, for sure. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your Facebook group where you're helping people to find the right people to go through the sterilization process. That's awesome.